Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It is a wonderful Monday. It is June 29, 2026. Welcome, everyone, to the show. If this is your very first time here, I want to take the opportunity to say welcome. And of course, I want to say thank you. Really do appreciate you taking the time to listen or to watch the show here. If you have been here one time, 5 times, 10 times, 100, or maybe even more, or maybe lost track of the count, I'd like to not only say thank you and welcome, but I want to say the words welcome back. I really do appreciate people that enjoy the quality and content of the show that I produce here. So great to have you here. We have a great master topic. We'll get this kicked off here in just a moment. If you're thirsty or hungry, feel free to go grab yourself something. I have delicious RO water and fresh lemon, which is really delicious. So, yes. All right, guys, don't forget to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations after the show. Inspirations for Your Life. This is the show where we help you become a better version of yourself. Welcome, everyone. The master topic for the week is how to let go and level up. Series 5, show number 27. And today we're about how to turn discomfort into fuel. Series 5, show 27, episode number 3. So the theme is discomfort is raw energy. Some people define it as pain. It's discomfort. And so let's dive in, shall we? Welcome, everyone, to Inspirations for Your Life. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student at Montclair State University, passionate, lifelong learner. Yes, and so grateful now to be a published author. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So today, I continue a powerful shift with you in a perspective. Because growth is not just about letting go of the past. No, it is about embracing and transforming what the past left behind. Discomfort is not just something to escape. It is something to convert. And that's hard for a lot of people to really understand. Our core message is this today. Most people misunderstand discomfort and pain. They see it as damage, as limitation, as something that happened to them. But discomfort and pain is actually raw energy, as I said. And raw energy can be converted. It can become direction. It can become clarity. It can become purpose. What changes everything is how you interpret it. That's the real key. And most people miss that subtlety. So here are some points to get you on the right track with this thought pattern. Discomfort and pain can become fuel when you stop treating it like a cage. Energy is only trapped when it is not directed. That's an important point to understand. Number 2, the question is, what now is more powerful than why me direction matters more than the explanation? Number 3, struggle is raw material for transformation. Nothing meaningful is created without pressure, right? Take diamonds, for example, right? They have to go through lots of amounts of pressure to become something very precious. Number 4, what hurt you can also guide and understand that to take you forward. What the hurt can do to guide you forward. Experience becomes insight when it's reframed, not in its pure form. Number 5, your story should be a blueprint, not a limitation. Meaning depends on the interpretation present. Number 6, scars are evidence of resilience, not weakness. Survival creates capability. And that's a real interesting thing, that we have that ability to create capability. Number 7, guys, discomfort shows you what actually matters in life. Discomfort clarifies priorities. Number 8, complaints can be converted into case studies. Experience becomes strategy when it's analyzed properly. Number 9, lessons become powerful when they're turned into creation. Now, insight without action, it immediately fades. And people lose their hope from that whole concept. And that's the whole key that I want to share with you. Number 10, guys, helping others transforms personal discomfort, or pain into purpose. Service creates meaning from experience. I think that's an important point for us to realize, is to embrace that meaning, embrace that concept of how an experience can get us to learn something, but only when we're aware of it. And then we can choose to make changes to make our lives even better. Number 11, guys, empathy becomes a strength through our lived experience. Understanding others begins with understanding yourself first. I think a lot of people try to understand others, but they don't try to understand themselves. And then they wonder why they can't understand others. It's because they don't know themselves first. We have to first become our own best friend before we can become other people's friends. And I think many people miss that. They go right out to try to be with others, but they don't understand themselves. And then they try to push their own agenda on people. And that never really sits well. Kind of leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, unfortunately. So, just saying. Number 12, guys, your struggles uniquely qualify you in certain areas of your life. Experience allows you to build specialization. And the specialization gives you a very unique perspective. Okay? Very unique perspective. Number 13, transformation begins when discomfort and pain becomes identity fuel. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? It is. Reframing changes outcomes because we're supposing something else and then we're acting in that way, and that can change our outcome. Now, again, it does not happen overnight, so I want to be very clear with you and let you know that it does not happen overnight, but you have the potential to grow every single day in your life. Does that make sense, guys? Maybe you're not getting it immediately, but I can tell you that it does work. It's just you have to embrace it. You have to embrace it. If you can't embrace it, then how do you ever go anywhere? How do you go somewhere? How do you change where you are right now if you can't think outside the box? If you can't understand a perception, if you can't get that, how do you move from where you are now to where you want to be? Again, it's not flipping a light switch. It's having intentional thoughts and acting on them. Not because we have to, but because we want to. That's important, guys. Really, really important. Once you do that, your life will start to change. Number 14, you did not go through difficulty to remain unchanged. No. Difficulty and challenges help us to learn so we don't go through that anymore. Experience demands evolution. I'll give you a perfect example. Maybe some of you remember a stove, right? And maybe you got close to the stove and you almost burned your hand. So you're like, oh, and I pulled my hand away, right? Maybe somebody even got too close and it got really hot. Maybe you did burn your hand, but then you pulled away. That reaction has taught you something, has taught you, I don't want to burn my hand anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. That's what it has taught you. And I think that's a very important thing that people just don't realize. They don't understand why it is. And I'm here to tell you that it makes a huge difference in your life. Huge, huge difference in your life. And that makes the whole difference in the world. When we have this realization, we change our thoughts. We change our actions. And by changing our thoughts and by changing our actions, guess what? we have different outcomes. We have different outcomes. And that's something most people will miss in life. They'll miss that because they never realized that's how it worked. They never realized it. But when you start to understand that concept, your life begins to change. It begins to evolve. It begins to morph in a positive way so that you can actually understand where you're moving toward. You know, it's not like you just get in the car and say, oh, I'm just going to drive down this road and hopefully I'm going to hit a gas station or hopefully I'm going to hit a restaurant. It's good hope. But what if you don't? What if you don't have enough gas in your car? Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to call AAA or one of the services, and then you're going to have to wait for them to come out, and they're going to have to put in like, maybe like a gallon of gas or half a gallon of gas, and maybe that'll get you just somewhere, right? But you still have to get to a gas station to get regular gas. And that's an epiphany for a lot of people. Number 15. Number 15 says, journaling, discomfort and pain, turns the emotion into usable insight. So we've all had times in our life where we don't like something. So we don't want to reminisce about the bad experience. We want to reminisce about what happened and learn the lesson. Throw all the other discomfort away. Reflection, guys, creates structure. Too many people don't reflect because they don't think they need to. But you don't reflect, you don't learn. Number 16, guys, pain and discomfort can sharpen your vision for the future. For the future. Clarity often comes through the contrast, through that moment that maybe you're not aware of, right? And that moment has a way of causing us to believe something, right? We're looking for fulfillment. We're looking for that in many areas of our life. And when we don't get it, we become unhappy. But do we actually know how to build a better mousetrap or to build a better system so we can have those great experiences? Or do we just get frustrated all the time, right? And that brings me to my next point. Number 17, frustration can be redirected into action. Not anger, action, positive action. Energy needs direction, not suppression. But too many people out there try to suppress something because they think if they do that, then they can just get it off the table. But then when its head rears again, it comes up stronger. People get angry. Number 18, guys, your story can become your own niche. We all have stories. I was working on building a group in my town, and we're talking about the history of the town and how the town's losing its history and how big buildings are happening and how that's changing the evolution. So I'm trying to build a histories and memories group to let people share their stories. See, we live for stories. We live to create these moments so we can share them with ourselves and share them with others and relive them and have these amazing experiences that we keep feeling as if they're happening right now. Why do we have pictures? We relive the emotions. And again, not because we have to, guys, but because we want to. That is the true ultimate thing, guys. We relive them because we want to. We relive them because we want to. Number 19, share your insights, not just your emotional replays. Value comes from the interpretation. The interpretation comes from our perceptions. Our perceptions come from what we see, what we hear, what we touch, what we taste, what we smell. And our immediate environment and other environments that we interact with. Number 20, guys. Your hardest chapter can often become your strongest message. Somebody once told me, John, do the hard things first, then do the easy things. Because when you do that, your motivation picks up. And you want to go do the easy things. Depth comes from difficulty. Also, when things are hard and you do the easy things, it's like, oh, wow, this is easy. This is so easy. Depth comes from the difficulty. And difficulty comes from our own skills, our perception, and our ability to learn more about that area, that topic, or that specific niche. Number 21, guys. Survival can be transformed into strategy. Yeah. Survival can move into strategy. Experience becomes advantage only when it's structured, not when it's just, some type of mess, right? Everything needs a structure, guys. When we have chaos in life, we don't learn. Number 22, never again moments can set new standards for us and for others. Boundaries come from experience that we partake in. And that's an important realization. If we know that experience comes from how we perceive things, and we don't like something, then we probably pivot away from doing that again, or in that specific environment. Number 23, guys. Discomfort is inevitable. But the level of suffering, that's optional. That's our own choice. You cut your finger. Are you going to cry about it and complain that it hurts? Or are you going to put some Neosporin on it, put a Band-Aid on it, and move on? What we focus on persists. We focus on discomfort, we get more discomfort. Meaning determines the duration. Some people, they just want to cry. They want to complain. Oh, my finger hurts. Oh, this hurts. So let's just think about it harder so it'll hurt even more. When you stop thinking about it, it's like it loses its grip on you and you barely even notice it's there. Number 24, guys. One action today that you choose to take can rewrite an emotional pattern that you've been living for years. One that you didn't even know it existed. Momentum breaks cycles, guys. Why is it people don't want to break the momentum? They're scared. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know why. But all they know is if they did this, they're going to be different. And they're not ready to be their own unsung hero. And that's a sad thing, guys, when people do that. Really sad. Number 25, growth requires us to use our discomfort and pain, not to avoid it. Does that make sense? I know that can be hard for a lot of people. Avoidance preserves limitation. And if we do that, we put ourselves into a corner. We put ourselves into a life that says we have no way out. When we do have options, it's just we're limiting ourselves. We're thinking inside a box. We need to crush the box. We need to think outside the box. That's not new, guys. That's been around for centuries. We have to start thinking outside the box. Crush the box. Get rid of the whole box. Okay. Number 26, your experience can help you design better outcomes. Knowledge from pain and discomfort is something very key. You know what that is, guys? It's applied intelligence. When we start to apply intelligence to our discomfort and pain, we become wiser, we become smarter. We also don't do the thing, right? Remember I talked about the stove and we put the fingers like, oh, I just pull my finger away, right? I pull my finger right here and it's like, oh, that's hot. And I pull it away. So you don't do that again. And you start to realize certain things are hot, like stoves and other things, right? Grills. And we learn as we get older what's hot so we don't get burned. So we don't want to get burned. Number 27, your journey can shorten someone else's struggle, right? I've often said, taking a trip, which I've gone to Europe many times, or taking a trip and doing something will help you learn 10 times faster than actually learning in a classroom. You want to learn about Europe? Go to Europe. Best way to learn. Not saying learn in a classroom is bad, but you're going to learn 10 times faster when you're immersed in it. That's how we learned our language. Immersion. That's how I learned English. That's how other people learn their languages. They're immersed in it. So the objects, the things and experiences become part of our brain and create these connections. Sharing accelerates others. And when we accelerate others, our life changes. Someone wise once told me, John, you want to become better at something? Yep. Help someone else with the same problem. And you'll get better too. Number 28, our discomfort and pain can evolve into a very unique, profound purpose when it's directed outward. A lot of people I know talk about service. Service transforms experience. But many people use the service to say that they're service leaders. But when I look under the cover to really see what they are, they're using it as a Band-Aid, as a masking tape. They're using it to exploit others. I love service toward others. But when you use it to exploit others, that's just wrong. That's wrong. Service will always transform the experience, providing it is genuine. Now, you might get people in the beginning that are going to latch onto you. But guess what? Later on, they're going to come onto you and realize maybe you weren't sincere. Number 29, the more you use your discomfort and pain, the less it controls you. You're basically detaching from it. Expression reduces emotional weight. Wow, John, that is so darn powerful. I know. Number 30, our discomfort and pain is the past, but fuel is the future. We can harp on what happened to us in the past, right? I went this way, this happened to me. We can always do that. But if we don't look past that, then how are we ever going to grow in our lives? I think that's a very, very important thing. And most people just think about what's going on in the day, but they don't look at the fact that I just did this. Well, I don't want to do it again and have the same type of reaction or the same type of results. And I'll have the same type of results if I choose to do the same thing over and over again. Einstein said this very well a long time ago. Doing the same thing over and over again is what? It is insanity. So if we do the same thing over and over again and we expect different results, that is insanity. If we keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect the same results, it's insanity. So we need to change what it is we are doing so we can move forward. And direction, ladies and gentlemen, determines the transformation. Not only transformation, but the level of transformation, where we're going to go, what we're going to do, right? That's determined all by you. And I think when we ponder about our perceptions and just noticing something like, if we're driving a white car, suddenly we see a lot of white cars, it's because our REC, our reticular activating system, or RAS, is attuned to that, right? What happens if you go to a word processor and you type something? It finds it. What happens if you go to LinkedIn and you type a word? It finds it, like contacts, it'll find it. But if you put it in quotes, it only finds that in LinkedIn, right? Different types of searches. So, ladies and gentlemen, as closing today, here is the truth. You guys want the truth, don't you? I want to have some more RO water here. So basically, the whole thing of RO water, and then maybe less than, I'm going to say, very small amount, maybe less than, not even, I'm going to say maybe 8 tablespoons of lemon makes a real difference. So our discomfort and pain does not disappear just because you ignore it. It disappears when you use it, when you convert it, when you redirect it. Because anything that is not expressed becomes stored. When you have a headache and we say, gee, I don't have a headache, what do we teach people? Think about your headache. Think about, what shape is the headache? What color is the headache? What texture is the headache? Those kind of things. And when we try to put it into something like a noun, it starts to lose discomfort because it's now being classified. But anything that is used becomes power. Anything that is used becomes power. Anything that is used becomes power. That is so priceless. Most people miss the cookie, right? I'm calling it the cookie, or the prize, because they have not been aware. Maybe they opened their eyes for a moment and their ears for a moment, and then they turned their head. They weren't even there a minute. When you just sit and become aware of the environment, you gather so many data points subconsciously. That's key. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know me by now, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. This has been Inspirations for Your Life, and this is where discomfort becomes fuel. So when you learn how to repackage your discomfort into fuel that will motivate you to take the next steps toward your goal, you will start to achieve it. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day and a great rest of your evening. I'll catch you real soon on the next show. Check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Be well, everyone.